Hi, everyone. In today's podcast, we're going to be talking about 10 ways that you can do lead generation on a shoestring budget. So stick around and make sure you take notes because these are some great ways that you can do it. Welcome to the Unstoppable Real Estate Agents Podcast. I'm your host and real estate productivity expert, Kim Hughes. Join me as we focus on real strategies and implement real solutions designed for you to achieve major success in your business and life while getting you organized. Okay, so in today's podcast, we're going to talk about 10 different ways that you can generate leads. And the goal here is to generate these leads on a shoestring budget. I don't care if you have $1 million budget or $100 budget. I want you to kind of think about a challenge you can give yourself on how can you lead generate on the least amount of money. Because in today's world, what you're doing is you're giving all your money to third party lead generation programs, hoping that they can deliver the results. It's one thing that I always kind of look at and say, how can you give them all that money and not being guaranteed anything? You're not guaranteed a lead. You're not guaranteed that you may get a lead, but it's not guaranteed that it's going to go through. So what I would like for you to do is think about how you will take the money that you're giving to a third party program. And let's just say we have a budget of $1,500 that you're spending every month on lead generation. Now, that may be high for some, but that's pretty much an average. And I know that agents do, some agents have seen a return of investment on that, but the majority haven't. So I think it's now time that we all start looking at other ways and quit being told that, if you don't do this, I'm going to give it to the next agent. So let that fear of missing out go away. Let's talk about how we can lead generate in a really good, positive way that is good for you as well as for the lead. So the first one that we're going to talk about is past clients. This is a topic that I love to talk about because I know agents are really not tapping into their past clients. And this is your gold mine. You leave money on the table when you do not talk or have a relationship with your past clients. So, what I want you to do is to create a strategy on how you're going to nurture those. They're not leads, but they're past clients. But they can become new leads as well as a referral system for you. So if you sit down and you map out what you're going to do every quarter for that past client, you're going to call them, they're going to get your newsletter, they're going to get a birthday card, they're going to get their home anniversary card, they're going to get a holiday card, they're going to get the market stats, you're going to connect with them on social media, you're going to engage with them on social media. You are going to go to social media, see what they're talking about. And if they're showing flowers of their beautiful yard, then you comment, how beautiful that is. And how do they have such a green thumb? What do they do? What fertilizer do they use? Create a conversation and then go from there. Because when you start doing that, it's just going to change your social media game. But we'll come to that in just a second. But focus on how you're going to market to these past clients. Do pop buys work for you? If they don't, then take it off the list. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Do what feels natural to you and what feels good to you. And when you do pick up the phone to call them, don't just call and talk about real estate. Talk about, what's going on in their lives. How's work? How are the kids? Are you taking a vacation? I see on social media you just got back from Alaska. Tell me all about it. Having a conversation, showing a genuine interest in that person is the key to nurturing your relationships. If you're not good at that, then I suggest you practice. You practice either in the mirror, you practice with, somebody in your home, a friend, a colleague, whatever, but get comfortable doing that. I know that it's hard sometimes for us to step out of our little thing that we have going on, but it's hard for me just as it's hard for anybody else. So keep that in mind that if you step out of your comfort zone, you're growing. The other thing that you can do is make sure that you talk to your family and your friends. They may not be ready to buy or sell, but they may have friends or coworkers that do, or maybe on the other side of that family, they would. So always talk about, hey, do you know what the markets are doing right now? Don't make your life all about real estate, but just bringing up little things like that will remind them that you do sell real estate and you love to help buyers and sellers. Making sure that your website is stellar. I mean, you've got to have everything updated. You've got to make sure that all the links are working. You've got to make sure you have a really good, solid blog that's got a variety of things of real estate and community. And then a freebie, always offer them a freebie. A freebie could be anything. It could be, a home improvement checklist that they can take and walk around the home and say, oh, I need to change out that light fixture. Oh, I would love to have new floors. Things like that that they can put on their DIY list. They could get a checklist of each season, what needs to be done for the new season coming in. It could be anything, but always offer a freebie, and they're easy to create. All you need to do is jump over to Canva and create whatever it is you want, PDF it, and attach it onto your website. Make sure that they have to register to get that because now you're collecting the email address. And then, if it is a past client, you can compare the email addresses to make sure you have the most current one. Then you go to social media. So now social media is a beast. So you have to be very structured on how you're going to use it. You're going to go in and you're going to post on your own timeline, whether it's real estate, community events, funny things, happy holidays, whatever that may be. Then you're going to go over and you're going to connect with people that live in your community. These are the other businesses, the insurance agents, the plumbers, the electricians, the restaurant owner, the landscaper, the housekeeper, the babysitter. Everybody that can help make lives go easier is who you connect with. And then you engage with them on their platform. So make sure you keep that in mind. You've got to not just go and put stuff out on your timeline. You've got to engage with people on their timeline as well. Another thing is, and this is two things in one, is look at your local neighborhood. Where do you live? And are you marketing to your neighbors? If you're not, you need to put together a strategy. Now, this is a strategy that I think so far everything has been free except for this one. This is where you're going to create a postcard campaign. I would say maybe 8 to 10 postcards with a message on there, about a different topic of buying and selling, mostly selling. Um, you want to make sure that all of your contact information is on there. You want to make sure that they know that you are the neighborhood authority. You live in the neighborhood, you know everything about it. So when they get ready to buy and sell, they're reaching out to you. Now, on the other side of that, you need to pick a farm area. So don't pick your own neighborhood as a farm area. Pick another farm area, a different zip code, a different subdivision, and look to see how many homes are in that subdivision. If there's 500 and you don't have the budget to market at all 500 homes, that's okay. Break it down. Maybe do 100 homes. I always recommend 100 because that's where you get the price break at the printer. And so when you are structuring that campaign, again, you want it to be a jumbo a jumbo postcard, and then you have a different message because these are people that do not know you. The neighborhood knows you, the others don't. And so then what we want to do is create that strategy of how often are they going to get it. Be consistent. If you say I'm going to send it every 2 weeks, you mail it every 2 weeks. If it's once a month, you do it once a month. Don't detour from that because once your audience sees consistency, that's how they start remembering. And oh yeah, I forgot about Joe. So your neighborhood and your farm area are treated differently, but they kind of go together because you're doing postcards and mailing those postcards to them. So that's where the cost comes in. Like I said, you can look at your budget, see what you can afford, but at least focus on 100. And if you're going through an online printing company, always call and see if they have a discount code. Express Copy always has a discount code. All you have to do is get it. You just got to pick up the phone, call them, and just say, hey, I'm getting ready to mail out some postcards, wondering if you can give me a discount code. They'll give you a code. Done. Um, Then I want you to look at the community organizations. What's going on there? So if you are, and I'll use my community as an example. We're very small. There's about 5,000 in our town, but we always have stuff going on. So one of the things, I'm very involved with the garden club here in Mineola, and so I have friends that are involved in other community organizations, and sometimes we can come together and create one big event. And so one event that's coming up that it's going to be so cute is we're a railroad town, so always look at what your town is. What's the history of the town, and how can you play on that? So we have what they call Iron Horse Square. It's downtown. It's a little area where we have a mini train. It runs, during the nicer months, and then there's a playground. There's a little library. There's the farmers markets right next to it. I mean, it's just all things right there. So the Garden Club is partnering with the Landmark Commission, the Historical Landmark Commission, to put on an event to bring the kids out to ride the mini train. And while they're there, the Garden Club is going to be doing rock painting and making seed bombs. So this whole event is around the children. It brings the parents out. It gets the family together and have a beautiful day together, socializing and enjoying their family and being in the sun. But you brought two organizations together to create this event. So how can you do that in your community? You may not need another organization to do it with, but come together and do something and promote the other organizations in your social media, in your newsletter, in your VIP groups, in, whatever it is that you're doing, to put yourself in front of people. Put it in your newsletter, send out an e-blast. These are things that the community would love to know. And if you have a community board, so like my hometown, we have a board. Now, if you live in a bigger city, you're going to have subdivision, groups, and not boards, but groups. And you can go in there and promote, hey, Pine Street's playing, Longview this weekend. Come out and join us, meet up with me. I have a free t-shirt for you. So if you have stuff that's branded and you can hand it out, you can always do that kind of marketing as well. So that's getting out in your community, and show up. Even if you're not involved with that community, show up at other community events and show your support for them in every way that you possibly can. Another one is, of course, here we go into is cold calling. You can sit down, get that phone book, go to your local phone company. I know this is old school, but it works. Get the phone book, start going down the list and calling people. Best way to do it. Just write your script and start calling. And if they say no or they hang up on you, then they are saying no to the opportunity, not saying no to you. Now, you have to follow the laws. You have to make sure they're not on the do not call list, etc. But, that's an idea. That's one idea of how to get out there, doing cold calling. Another one is door knocking. This is a great way to get your name in front of people. So like right now, we're going into spring. So create you a spring cleaning checklist and brand it and print it and hand it out to your neighbors. Hand it out to a farm area. Just go door knocking and saying, hey, we're in April. I thought this would be a great little checklist for you to get started on your spring cleaning, whether it's indoor, outdoor, whatever it may be. And make sure you attach your business card to it. I always say put it on the back of the flyer. And then right there you have 10 things you can do. Now, how much money did that cost? It's not going to cost you much money, but it's going to take some time, and it's not going to be an instant gratification, right? So, it's something that once you nurture it and you work on it and you create a system and you keep at it, it's going to start showing results. Do not go into this thinking that first postcard is going to get you a lead, or that first phone call to a past client, because what we're doing is we're nurturing what we already have, and we're looking for new relationships. So when you treat them that way, it takes time. It doesn't mean that you're going to go out and find your best friend today, but you might meet somebody while you're having coffee. And that relationship can grow because you're nurturing it. So keep that in mind. Hopefully, this will help. I think these are some great ideas that pick one and just implement it if nothing else. And let us know how that works for you. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you know someone, and I bet you do, who would appreciate this podcast, please share it with them. As a reminder, this podcast can be delivered directly to your favorite device by using the subscribed links you can find in the show notes below or over at unstoppablerealestateagents.com. Remember, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Have a great day.